This week's Safety Toolbox Talk is looking at a 150-foot supported scaffold on top of a church, entirely wrapped and zip tied. And the hazards associated with a scaffold system such as this. Now, why would we wrap this? A couple of reasons. Keep the dust away from the owners and clients, keep the weather out. But here on this particular job, it's for winter conditions. We're going to be heating this space. This space that I'm standing on top of right now is 150 feet above a gable roof system, of which I will show you in a minute from ground elevation. But we're about to heat this space. So the heat is now going to be coming up here and rising. And is that going to introduce any type of a different type of an atmosphere, a gaseous state per se? So we're going to have CO monitors up here for the tradesmen where they're primarily working on this elevation and the walls as we creep on down. Very different type of scope when you get into these conditions, because the volume of wind hitting this plays havoc with the tie-ins to the structures, and it makes this whole scaffold system's integrity challenged. So let's take another look at this from down below, and then I'll continue talking about the hazards associated with this scaffold system. This is what we look like when we're standing at ground level. Same dwelling as what I was standing up on top when I was up in there in Bell Tower. Checked the mud sills, and I checked all the tie-ins all the way up this structure. When you wrap a structure of this magnitude, 150 feet in the air, roughly 20 some odd feet in diameter, you've got 3,000 square feet getting hit by 20, 30, 40 mile an hour winds. So in this week's Safety Talk, I actually sent a wind shear chart also, because it actually states that when a 20 mile an hour wind hits this structure, it applies 2 foot-pounds per square foot. So if this is 6,000 square feet, that means that 6 or 7 tons of wind shear are hitting this thing with just a 20 mile an hour wind, and that increases to like 9 tons of wind hitting it at 30 miles an hour. It's very dangerous, and these have a tendency to collapse when they're challenged. They get hit, then they pull away from the building and they end up collapsing. So it's extremely important that our team inspects these systems each and every day. Now, mind you, we're getting ready to temp heat this tower. What is that going to do to that interior atmosphere? We're going to have CO machines in there, because this is considered a confined space. It's a stair tower going up and coming down. And then what do we do in regard to an emergency plan on something like this? So we need to talk about that in our site logistics plans for each and every job site. So this week we'll talk a little bit about supported scaffold, wrapping these scaffolds, and the dangers associated by wind shear, confined space, emergency access. Let's have a safe day. Let's have a safe week. Thank you.